Hello everyone, I'm Greg Otto with FedScoop, and I'm here at the Security Innovation Summit today, and I'm here with Roberta Stempfley, the Director of Cybersecurity Implementation for the Mitre Corporation. Bobby, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, security, let's talk about the number one disruptor that you see in terms of security challenges that the federal government is facing today.
So I think security is a really evolving field and has been for quite a while. What I have seen over the last, 5 or 6 years is sort of a threat-based focus as a really meaningful disruptor for activities. Right? It's really about making sure that how you're operating, how you're engineering, and how you're architecting your systems takes the focus of the kind of attack surface that's available or that it makes available and the kinds of threats that are going on.
So with the federal government, cloud adoption has been sort of slow. So what are one or two pieces of advice you might offer for an organization that is kind of hesitant about moving to the cloud?
Yeah, so a cloud is a really interesting opportunity for people, right? I think I've said this a number of times. When you move a business process or an application to the cloud, it is a sort of re-architecting moment for you, and so you need to not get yourself locked up over the list of security controls. You really need to think about what is the business process and the application that you're moving, and how can you use this moment to make it more secure at its foundational level.
Okay.
And then, and as a part of that, consider all of the security needs that the cloud brings to the table. I see people sort of get stuck with, I don't understand how to apply the sort of security concepts in the cloud activity, or taking legacy applications and just trying to move them over in a legacy way. The changes that they have to make in order to move into the cloud are real opportunities to move the bar forward, both in terms of mission effectiveness of the application and security effectiveness of the application.
And another thing with whether it's cloud, mobile, Internet of Things, a lot of these systems are about reducing complexity. So how can we reduce the complexity in IT infrastructures while remaining innovative?
So complex problems are basically the only problems we're facing nowadays. When you think about it, right, they're very connected. They involve a lot of people, and really one of the things that leads us to do is to believe that they are so complex they aren't solvable. And so really finding the solvable threads through them and starting to solve those gives you the momentum to solve the larger and larger problems. And so IT has become a very complex activity and undertaking, but some of the technologies in terms of containerization and virtualization are really helping find those small threads that you can be successful within and just keep knocking them down.
So switching gears now, there's been a lot of news on the cyber attack front. The lines are blurring between state-sponsored attacks and black hat criminal attacks. What worries you the most on this front, and should the solutions come more from a policy base, or is it something that can come through technological innovation? So
I actually think that the focus on attribution is interesting but not really relevant to solving the problem. Attribution opens up a range of policy tools that the government can and should and does bring forward. But for those of us that are actually operating in this space, knowing who it's attributed to is, in the federal government is not as useful as understanding what your attack surface is, what the maturity of the threats might be, and how you can really sort of focus on it. So one of the things I worry about a great deal is that we make runs down these dead ends. We spend a lot of time on topics like attribution. CIOs talking about attribution. CIOs need to be talking about how do you have non-fragile, resilient, effective infrastructure that supports the mission of the organization. And all that energy that they're spending in one place is energy being taken away from the execution of their core, their core functions.
So the CIO's focus, let's talk a little bit about the leadership that comes from the CIOs. What are you seeing as far as the workforce, and what do you think needs to be done as far as human capital to ensure the country's infrastructure?
Yeah, great question. We have a dearth of cybersecurity professionals. We have a dearth of science and technology professionals. Right, these are additive, sort of additive problems. And what I'm really afraid of is bad security comes from bad design.
Okay.
And if you don't have people focused on richness in design and engineering activities, then you really have you start in a bad place. The more we can do to bring individuals into this career field, the more we can do it in ways that don't require people to, come to one of 5 or 6 cybersecurity meccas in the country. I think the better off we're going to be. We have we have pools of folks who are employable, and this real need for people in this cybersecurity landscape. And so making those connections is really the difficult part. The more the CIOs can be a voice for this need, the more policymakers can be a voice for this need, the more localities can be a voice for this need and for the demand, the better off we're going to be.
Great, great. Well, Bobby, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your insights.
Well, thank you.
You can check out all of our videos on our YouTube channel, and for more information, check out FedScoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.